Good morning, children. Sai Ram. I again welcome you all to the online class of economics. Children, today I'm going to start the next chapter of our book, that is chapter number 6, and the name of our chapter is Diagrammatic Presentation of Data, which is bar diagram and pie diagrams. Children, this is the first video of this chapter, and in this video we are going to learn first the introduction of the diagrammatic presentation of data, thereafter the utility, the advantages of the diagrammatic presentation, thereafter the types of diagram, one dimensional diagrams or the bar diagrams, pie diagrams, and at last we are going to learn the limitation of the diagrammatic presentation of data. So children, let us start with a first topic, that is introduction of diagrammatic presentation. Children, as per the last video, what we have learned, basically we have learned that when we are conducting any statistical investigation, we have learned how the data have been collected. That we have learned in the introduction as well as the collection of data in the second chapter, and we do have learned the census and the sample method of collection of data. In the chapter number 4, we have learned the classification of data, that is the organization of data, and how the data collected is being organized or classified into the various fields. Thereafter we have learned the presentation of data, in which chapter number 5 we have learned the first method of presentation of data, that is textual to the tabulation presentation of data. Now we are going to learn the next method of presenting of data, that is the diagrammatic presentation of data. So children, an important function of statistics is the presentation of the complex mass of data in a simple way, so that it becomes easier to understand. That we have already understood. And classification and tabulation are basically the techniques that helps in presenting the data in an intangible form. However, with increase in the volume of data, it becomes more and more inconvenient to understand even after its classification and tabulation. Thus, to understand the various trend of the data and to facilitate the comparisons of the various situations, the data are presented in the form of diagram and graphs. So diagrammatic presentation is discussed in this chapter, and the next, that is the graphical presentation of data is being presented in the chapter number 7. You are going to learn the graphical presentation of data in chapter number 7. So children, what is the diagrammatic presentation of data? Children, as I just said, the present chapter focus on the geometric form of diagrammatic presentation, include the bar diagrams and the pie diagrams. So what is the diagrammatic presentation of data, children? The diagrammatic presentation of data is the visual form of presentation of data in which the facts are highlighted in the language of the diagrams. It consists in presenting the statistical material in interesting and attractive geometrical figures, that is bar, the circle, rectangle, square, pictures, map and charts, etc. It will attract the attention of a large number of people. Like if the data are being presented in a bar or in the bar diagrams, then it looks very attractive, and it too attains the attention of the other people. And last, it facilitates the comparisons between two or more set of data. So this is called your diagrammatic presentation. Children, the word diagrammatic presentation comes from the word diagrams. So in this chapter we are going to learn the various kinds of diagrams. So as I just said, children, diagrammatic presentation of data is one of the most convincing and appealing way of presentation of complex data in statistics. As I just said, the diagram, what is diagrams basically? Children, bar diagrams are those diagrams in which the data are being presented in the form of bars or in the form of rectangles. So when the data are being presented in the form of bars or in the rectangles, then it is called as bar diagrams. Now we are going to learn the various types of bar diagrams. Children, the various kinds of diagrams are being classified into various categories. Like the first one is one dimensional diagrams, second is two dimensional or surface diagram, third is three dimensional or volume diagram, fourth one is pictogram, fifth one is cartogram or map diagram. We have a general rules for constructing this kind of diagrams, like we are using title, the proper size, proper scale, index, source, footnote, attractiveness, neatness and simplicity when while constructing the diagrams. Children, let us again learn what is the bar diagrams or the bar graphs. So, children, when the data can be displayed in the number of different ways, one could make a chart, circle, graph, line, plot, or perhaps a bar graph. Then it is known as the bar graphs. In this situation or in this section, children, we will look to how the data are being presented using a bar diagram. Children, when the data are being presented in the form of bars or in the form of rectangles, then it is known as the bar diagram. Now how could we represent the data, the complex data in the bar diagrams? We have one you can say one question in front of you. So, children, we have a question in front of us, and the following table is given the data on the birth rate in India according to the census survey of different years. Now, this data we have to be present in the form of bar diagrams. Children, one thing I want to clear here, that the bar diagrams can be presented in the form of the vertical bar diagram and in the form of horizontal bar diagram. So here the number of years is mentioned here, like 1951 to 1960. This is basically the population census of different population census of India in the different years. Like in the year 1951 to 60, the birth rate of India is 45%, and birth rate is 45 per birth rate per thousand. In 1961 to 70 it is 35. In the 71 to 80 it is 30. It is 28, 24 and 20 in the year 2001 to 2010. Now this given data we have to be presented in the form of vertical bar diagram. So what I'm going to do here is, on the x-axis, as you all know, we have x-axis and the y-axis for constructing any diagram or any graphical presentation. So the years we have plotted on this x-axis, and the birth rate we have plotted on the y-axis. At the zero axis we start writing the year from 1951 to 60, 1960 to 70, 1971 to 80 and so on. Children, one thing is very important to understand, that in between of every bar there must be an equal gap. So the width of bar is chosen basically arbitrarily, so that the constructor diagrams look more elegant and attractive, and the length or height of the bars uh, depends upon as per the different values of the variable. However, the breadth of the bars remains the same. And one thing is also want to clear here, that bar needs to be equal distance from each another. So bars may be drawn either the vertical or the horizontal. So here you just see there is an equal gap between each and every, you can say, this bar, the vertical graph. You will find you find equal distance between each bar. Like here, whatever the difference here is, it should be here in this one, this one and this one. We have an equal distance in between of the bar diagrams. And the length, or you can say the height of each bar diagram depends upon its values. So this is basically a vertical bar diagram. Now if we see the horizontal presentation of data, children, the same data can be presented in the form of horizontal presentation. Like here, we have been asked to present the following data in the form of horizontal bar diagrams. So the number of so the students names is given here, like A B C D E F. These are the name of the students, and the marks what they have obtained in the final examinations are like 300, 250, 200, 150, 100 and 50 and so on. So what I have done here is, again, the marks we have plotted on the x-axis, and the name of the students I have plotted on the y-axis. Now you can clearly see that each students have scored 300. So this diagram takes a horizontal shape, and it is going up to the 300 value. Like here, when we're talking about A, their marks obtained is 300, so 300 is here. So this bar can be dragged up to 300 because the values are 300. So and so on, we can again plotted here the marks of each and every student, like B, C, D, E, F simultaneously. So this is basically your horizontal bar diagram. So children, next we have types of diagrams. Children, as I just said, we have five basic classification of diagrams. The first one is your one-dimensional diagram. Second is your two-dimensional, or we can say surface diagram. Third is your three-dimensional or a volume diagram. Fourth one is your pictogram, and at last we have cartogram or the map diagram. We again have the same rules of constructing all these diagrams. Like we could have taken the title, the proper size, proper scale, index, sources, footnotes, attractiveness, neatness and simplicity while conducting all this multi-dimensional diagrams. So children, according to the various types, the diagrams are being classified as: the first one is the one-dimensional diagram, second is two-dimensional diagram, third is the three-dimensional diagram, and the fourth and fifth are classified as the pictograms and cartograms. So in your one dimensional diagram, we have six basic classification of diagram. The first one is simple bar diagram, multiple bar diagram, subdivided, percentage, broken and deviation bar diagrams. These are basically the six varieties of one dimensional bar diagrams. So these are basically six bar diagrams. Next we have the two-dimensional diagrams, in which we have children rectangles, squares, circles and pie diagrams. This is again the classification of two-dimensional diagrams. In the three-dimensional diagrams, we have a cube, cyclic and blocks, etc. So children, the present chapter basically focus on the one-dimensional diagrams, that is the bar diagrams and the pie diagrams, in accordance to the syllabus which is prescribed by the CBSE. So both the bar diagrams and the both bar diagrams and pie diagrams comes in the category of the geometric diagram for the presentation of data. And the next, like the two-dimensional bar diagrams, three-dimensional diagrams and pictograph and cartograph, the, this you are going to learn in your graduation level. So the present chapter is majorly focused only on the one-dimensional bar diagrams. So let us start with the first one, that is one dimensional diagram. What is one dimensional diagram, children? One dimensional diagrams are such diagrams which only have one dimensional measurement, that is height is used. I mean in this diagrams only the values or the diagrams we are representing only in height. These diagrams may be in the form of lines and bars, and there is no importance of width or thickness in these diagrams. That is why we are taking the equal breadth or equal width of each and every bar diagrams. We could not, the values cannot be vary just because of their breadth, but the values or the bars are vary just because of their height. So the height of this lines or the bars are taken on the basis of the values. Now the first one is your line diagram. So children, in the line diagram, children, basically only lines is drawn to represent one variable. So this lines may be the vertical or horizontal, and line diagrams is used in case where there are many items and there is at least a difference between the different values. So this kind of diagrams are basically constructed in the one way, like you just see if you just see here, children, the height of the students are being representing on the y-axis, whereas their ages are representing on the x-axis. So as I just there are basically three students. The first one is Bob, Matthew and John's. So their height according to their age is being representing, like when their age is 6. At the age of 6 years, the height of Bob is like 100 centimeter, whereas Matthews again lies a little bit no, more than you can say Bob, and for John also it is greater than. So this kind of variations you are basically finding in their height in the different age group. So this is called your line diagram, children. Now next we are going to learn the bar diagrams. So as I just said, children, bar diagrams is the easiest and the most common used method. It consists of the bars of equal width, all horizontal and or vertical, standing on a common base lines at equal intervals. So they make comparisons between the different variables. And such kind of bar diagrams examples we have, like simple bar diagram, multiple bar diagrams, subdivided, percentage, and divisional bar diagrams, broken bar diagrams. So these are basically the various kinds of diagram. So children, let us start with another topic. Let us learn first what is simple bar diagram. What is simple bar diagram, children? A simple bar diagrams are you can say simple bar diagrams are those diagrams which are based on a single set of numerical data. The different items or the values are represented by a different bars. So we can also say that simple bar diagrams are used for making comparative studies on two or more items or values of a single variable. they, these can be drawn, these can also be drawn either with the vertical or the horizontal, and difference between each bar should be equal. So we have one example in front of us. And children, one thing is very important to understand here, that simple bar diagrams comprises of group of rectangular bars of equal width for each class or category of the data, and it is the simplest form of the bar diagrams. So bars of different bar diagrams can be visually compared by the relative values as comprehended quickly. Now we have one numerical in front of us. Now following tables give the birth rate per thousand of the different countries over a period. Like if we're talking about the birth rate in India, it is 33% per thousand. In Germany it is 16, in UK it is 20, and in China it is 40. Now this kind of data have been presented in the form of simple bar diagram. So what basically we are doing is we are writing the name of a country on the x-axis, and on this y-axis, this is your y-axis, this is your x-axis, and on the y-axis we are plotting the birth rate per thousand. So if we're talking about India, this worth increase up to 33 because the values is 33, it lies here. Then it is 16, so the values or the birth rate of Germany lies in 16, so 16 lies nearby here. So that is why this height of this bar reach up to this particular height. Then we have a United Kingdom, that is UK, and the birth rate of UK is 20. So that is why this is your this is the height of this bar diagram. Then we have a China, and the birth rate of China is 40. So this is your birth rate, or this is the presentation of the vertical bar diagram, and this is the first form of presenting the data, that is the simple bar diagram. Now we are moving on to the next variety. Next is the multiple bar diagram. What is multiple bar diagram, children? Multiple bar diagrams are those diagrams which show two or more set of data simultaneously. Generally, these diagrams are used to make comparisons between the two set of series, such as birth rate and death rate and so on, and separate bars are drawn to present the separate set of values. And generally, bars are differentiated by the colors and simultaneously indicate the behavior of two set of series. So, children, this diagram, this multiple bar diagram is used when we have to make the comparisons between two or more variables. For example, like the income and expenditure, export and import for different years, marks obtained in the different subjects and different classes, etc. And it is also known as compound bar diagram, and the method of presenting the method of preparation of multiple bar diagrams is same as that of the simple bar diagram. So we have one numerical, let's take one example, children. The data given below is the profit earned between the two companies in the year. A profit earned by the company A is 120, 135, 140, 150, and 179, and the profit which is obtained in the year 2003 4, this are given like in 2003 to 4 the profit of B is 90, it is 95, 108, 120, and 130. So this all data is being supplied to you of profits earned by the two companies in the various years. Like in the year 2003 to 4, the profit earned by the company A is 120. Therefore the graph reached to 120 here for the company A, which is representing with this color pink, and the profit of B is representing by this color, and the breadth of the height of this company B's profit reached to 90. So 90 lies here basically. So this is your multiple diagram. So it simultaneously show two set of data at the same time. I mean, in the year 2003 to 4, the profit of both the companies are shown simultaneously, and so on. So this kind of presentation of data is known as the multiple bar diagram. Next we are moving on to the next variety of the presentation of diagram. We have a subdivided bar diagram. Now what is the subdivided bar diagram? Children, a subdivided bar diagram are subdivided bar diagrams in the bar corresponding to each phenomenon is divided into various components. I mean, in subdivided bar diagrams, we will simultaneously show the part value as well as the total value of data at a same time. So in the subdivided bar diagrams, children, both the part value as well as the total values are shown. So it is also called as component bar diagrams, and these diagrams are those diagrams which simultaneously show present as well as the total values as well as the part values of the set of data. So I mean the particular value, the total value as well as the part values are shown in this kind of diagrams. So different parts, or you can say the components of the bars, are shaded with colors. So one thing it is very important to understand, children, when we are preparing the subdivided bar diagrams, the various components in each bar should be kept in the same order. Second, in order to make our distinctions among the various components, it is very necessary to use the different colors and shade. So this diagram is also known as the compound bar diagram and used in presenting the total of data and their main parts, that is the division or the components. So in this diagrams, children, each bar representing not only the whole of the magnitude but also the various components of the data which it is composed of is being presented. For example, children, we have during the year 2000 to 2008, children, the number of the students in the university X is given. Like in the year 2004 to 5, the total number of students who are studying in art stream is 18,000. In the year 2004 to 5, the total number of science students are 9,000. In law it is 4,000. And when we're talking about the total number of students who are studying in the year 2004 to 5, their numbers are 31,000. And so on. In the year 2005 to 6, the total number of you can say the art student is 20,000. 10,000 is from the science background and remaining 5 students are from the law. So when we're talking about the total number of students studying in any university X in the year 2005 to 6, their total numbers are 35,000. So and so on, we have a data supplied for 2006 to 7. Now this kind of data we have to present it in the form of subdivided bar diagrams. So the suitable diagram of subdivided bar diagrams is as follows. Like we have to edit all, as we have added all the total number of students studying in the different years in the university. Now we have the part value, I mean this is all the part values as well as this is the total value supplied to you in the various years. Now we have to present it in the form of the subdivided bar diagrams. So children, as I just explain you the total numbers, I mean the dependent value we have to be write on the x-axis, and the differentiating values of the various given values are being plotted on the y-axis. So this is your x-axis, this is your y-axis. Now as I just said, the total maximum number of students studying is 48,000. So we have taken a margin, I mean we have taken a scale that 1 centimeter is equals to 1 centimeter is equal to 10,000 students on the x-axis. This is the scale what we have taken, and once sorry, 1 centimeter is equal to 1 financial year on the x-axis, and 1 centimeter is equal to 10,000 students on the y-axis. This is the scale what we have taken. So children, the art students, I mean the total number of art students studying in the year 2004 to 5 is 18,000. So what I have taken the number of students representing by art, I mean the students who are belongs to art stream, their values are representing by the pink color. So for 2004 to 5, you just see the height of the art students could reach to 18,000. That is why up to this point it lies 18,000, just below of this 20,000. This particular area belongs to the art students, and the number of students are 18,000. And the next is the science students, their number is 9. So 18 plus 9 is 27. So we'll take this bar up to the height of 27,000, which represents the number of science students, which is showing you by the red color. You are watching here that in the year 2004 to 5, I mean in this bars you're watching that up to this point we have a total 27 students, which shows that the 18,000 students are studying in arts, whereas 9,000 students are studying in science. So remaining 4,000 students we have for law. So the students of law we are representing with this color. And when we take the breadth, I mean 27 for 4, that is 31. So we will take the height of this bars up to the 31. So this is the way how you are representing the subdivided bar diagram, in which the part value as well as the total value of any given data being representing in a single bars. So this is called a subdivided bar diagram, in which the total value as well as the part value been representing simultaneously, and so on. We could draw for 2005 to 6 and to 7 to 8 years. Like I am again explaining you, for the year 2005 to 6, the total number of students studying in art is 20,000. So we'll take the height of of art student up to 20,000. Next we have the science student 10,000. So 20 plus 10, that is 30. So we will take the height of this bar up to 30, whereas in between from 20,000 to 30,000, this particular height of this bar is representing the students studying in the science stream. So the next is the law student, and the number is 5,000. So we'll again take the height of this bar up to 35,000. It's showing the total number of students, and from 30 to 35,000, in between of the bars we are representing the law students, and it is representing with this color, this brinjal color. So this is the way how we are, and the same we have been explaining, we have been expressing in this also. So this is the way how the subdivided bar diagrams have been drawn. So children, in today's video we have learned basically the introduction of the diagrammatic presentation of data. We have learned that how the data are being presented in the form of bars and diagrams, and thereafter we have learned the types of bar diagrams. Like the first is one dimensional diagram, two dimensional, three dimensional, pictograph and cartogram. Thereafter we have learned the first three methods of presenting the bar diagrams. The first is simple bar diagram, second is the multiple bar diagrams, and the third one is the subdivided bar diagrams. So children, I hope in today's video you will understand first the basic introduction of the bar diagrams and the way how this bar diagrams are being presented in the form of bars and rectangles. So children, thank you so much for watching, and in the next video we will complete up the remaining topics of this chapter. So thank you so much for watching and have a nice day, and Sai Ram.